Yeah, go for it. Let's go.
I'll take the reins. Yeah.
Yep.
Cool. Welcome to A Long Time Ago with me, Adam. I've got Martin here. How you doing,
guys? I'm all right. I'm good. I'm tired.
It's a bit of a later one than scheduled for us this time. Lots happened today and whatnot. So we're just going to crack on with it and try and stay awake, right?
You'd have to sort of shout down the microphone if you see me nodding off.
Nodding off, but
that's not a representation of what we're talking about, to be fair.
No, that's true. Yeah, we should probably make that pretty clear. Yeah. So yesterday, Andor was released on Wednesday. I don't know when this episode will drop, probably tomorrow, Friday. So Andor has been released. They've released the first 3 episodes. How did you enjoy them?
Yeah, it was obviously there's been a lot of talk before it came out by reviewers and people that have seen it, other Star Wars podcasters and reviewers, etc.
Yeah.
And they made it quite clear that it was a different kind of show and not to expect space battles and lightsaber fights, and for it to be more of a slower paced, story-driven, character-driven piece. And I have to say, I think I agree with every single one of those comments. To answer the question, did I enjoy it? Yeah, I enjoyed it a lot.
Yeah, it's very different. Like you say, it's really different, isn't it, from anything they've done before? Sorry, I've cut you off. You were going to say something else.
No, I just to give an overall feelings after having just watched it the 3 episodes once. I kind of felt that was it 90 minutes probably if you added all 3 episodes together. It felt like do you know when a TV show comes out and you have a pilot episode that's usually an hour and a half movie length pilot, and then it goes back every week afterwards to being the normal 45-minute show. It felt like they had to put those 3 episodes out because without those 3 episodes being linked together, you probably wouldn't have liked it for a start, because those 3 episodes sort of hooked you in with the characters and the flashbacks and the state of the world that he's living in, Andor's living in, because it's a different kind of Star Wars that we've seen before. And it's a film about the formation of the rebellion against the Empire. Yeah. And isn't it ironic that we actually haven't seen anything to do with the Empire yet?
Yeah. Well, not a lot anyway. There was the ship in episode 3 that had crashed. But yeah, I was going to actually, in my notes, I've put the same thing. I think they needed to release the 3 episodes to keep people entertained, keep people watching, because it was only really the 3rd episode where the pace picked up a little bit. Yeah, and I think week by week, I think it will all pick up.
I agree.
In terms of pace, it will start sort of edging up and up, and I think it. I was entertained, but I would definitely agree with a lot of people that it was slow going to begin with. For episode 1 and 2, especially episode 2. I found that pretty slow going, but I stuck with it. They're obviously playing the long game and trying to tell a complete story here.
Well, I think the first 3 episodes, they told a story, didn't they? They told a story. He went looking for his sister. He accidentally murdered somebody and then ended up having to murder someone else. And he was desperately trying to get off the planet. And the only way he could do it was to sell this stolen merchandise he had to someone he doesn't know who it is yet. And then he's been recruited into the rebellion, and that's the start of the story. So I think, although it was slow, it had to be done.
Yeah, definitely.
And just I'm not sure I'm correcting you, but I think I am. That wasn't an Imperial ship that crashed in the flashbacks to him when he was a child. It was actually a Separatist ship. because it had the
Okay.
logo of the separatists.
Oh, right.
And I know it
Yeah.
confused me because I was thinking, well, it can't be separatists because they're humans, but because obviously we're used to seeing battle droids.
Hmm.
Of course,
Oh, yeah.
it
Yeah.
wasn't. It was systems that had separated from the Republic. So
Right.
of course they would have had their own um, humanoid planets, just like the
Hmm.
the Republic did. So yes, that so
Okay. Yeah. I thought I saw the Imperial logo at that point. Or maybe I'm thinking about the Premor. Is it Premor? Premor, the police corps sort of
oh
thing.
yes, yeah, no,
Are they
the
Premor?
oh god,
I think that was the name of their planet type thing. Or
Preox,
Preox.
it was Morlana.
Preox Morlana, yeah, and
Yeah, yeah,
they shortened it to Premor, didn't they? I
yeah.
believe. I think, like I say, we've only watched this once, whereas
Mm,
Obi-Wan, aside from the first week, we were able to watch that 2 or 3 times
yeah.
before we came onto podcast. But three
Mm.
episodes
Hmm.
trying to get through all of that, it was a little bit much. But yeah,
Bringing up
still good.
Obi-Wan, that's you could. It was just tale of two shows, really, wasn't it? It was.
Yeah.
I mean, the sets were absolutely spectacular.
Yes.
The
Yeah.
the characters, the extras walking around were on another level.
Mm.
Even the music was brilliant, I thought, and it was a different kind of music we're not used to for
Yeah.
Star Wars. There was a kind of a Blade Runner-y type music, and then all of a sudden there'd be a bit of guitar thrown in, and but it seemed to fit the show,
It
and
does fit. Yeah. It's a very
um,
different show. Yeah. Because
yeah,
yeah, even going Mandalorian, that's got their own style and their own music, and it all fits together
mm,
quite nicely. So yeah, do you know
yeah, it
who
was.
composes the music for this one?
I
You know?
can't. There was a lady. I just can't remember her name right now.
Okay.
I'll have to.
Did
That'll
she
have to.
compose the Rogue One stuff, or was that
No, that
somebody
was
else?
Michael
Oh yeah, we
Giacchino. Yeah,
spoke about that last time, didn't we?
yeah.
Yeah.
Don't make me try and pronounce his name again.
You had a few attempts at it last time, but
Yeah,
yeah,
each one was wrong, but never mind.
I'm sure it was fine.
Yeah,
So yeah, there were a lot of new planets, or a few new planets anyway. Have we seen any of these before? Do you know? So
no, we haven't seen any of the planets before, but there was a mention of Wobani, which is obviously an anagram of Obi-Wan, and Wobani was seen in Rogue One, and that was where K2SO and Melchi rescued Jyn Erso from that prison
yeah,
tank or whatever it was. It was
the transporter
transporter,
or
yeah,
whatever it was. Yeah.
which was actually an old Clone Wars vehicle that the Empire had repurposed, but
Hmm.
that's another story. Um, and yeah, so that was mentioned, but apart from that, I don't recall anything else being mentioned that I recognise. There wasn't. It was very light on Easter eggs, as they said it would be.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
know I've only seen it once, but even online, I haven't seen anybody mention anything particularly Easter eggish. So
No.
that was nice and that was refreshing. But there was one thing that I really really liked. So I hope you don't mind me cutting in.
No, go for it.
There was this police force. I don't remember the name of the police force, but basically there was this group of planets. I think it was called the Morlana Corporate Zone,
Mm-hmm.
and it consisted of several planets in a system, and
Mm.
it was obviously it was within the Empire's control, but because the Empire don't have the resources to control every single planet in the galaxy, they transfer power to a corporate organization, and they're there to obviously mine the planets and
Mm.
tax the residents and everything.
Yeah.
And they obviously have their own security slash police force that control the crime and everything in the area. And I found that really really interesting because
Yeah.
it's something you've never seen before. Because you just I suppose not knowing, you just assume that, oh well, every planet in the entire Star Wars galaxy that's run by the Empire has stormtroopers on it and has
Yeah.
star destroyers. But of course there's
So it didn't.
thousands and thousands of planets out there,
Yeah.
and there's the Empire, even as big as they are, don't have the resources to do that.
Yeah.
So they've created this really ingenious way of being able to run systems of planets
Yeah.
through corporations.
it did bring something completely new that we haven't seen before,
Yeah,
really,
it
didn't
was,
it?
it was.
Yeah,
I really liked it. I really
yeah.
liked it, and a couple of the standout.
Questionable outfits, I'd say, but other than that,
Yeah, they did grow on me though a little bit. I mean,
yeah,
yeah, I definitely see what you mean, but at the same time, it's kind of I suppose if you look at corporate organisations in the world we live in today, they all have questionable uniforms,
that's
such
true.
as
Yeah,
Starbucks, Disney. They all wear some really weird stuff, and just to compare it to real world, I suppose that's my headcanon to get away with that. But yeah, and a couple of the most standout characters in the show so far were the guy who was in charge, or sorry, the guy who was second in command of the security forces,
yeah.
who was
The
told not.
American guy that looks a bit like
Yes.
a kind of a cross between Rob Lowe and Zac Efron.
Yeah, yes, yeah, yes, yeah. Again, sorry to everyone out there. We've only seen it once. The names have all escaped me so far,
Yeah,
but I'll
yeah.
be fluent within weeks. He was absolutely brilliant. He
Do
he
you
he
know
was.
what? I was sort of thinking. Oh, I was watching it and I was like, I don't like this guy. I don't know what it is, but I don't like it. But that's the point, isn't it? You're not
Yes.
supposed to like him.
No. He's
But
he's
I was
he's
questioning. Sorry, I was questioning him, his like acting style, if you like, his
mm,
the way he was doing it. But that was the point.
yes,
You know?
absolutely. He's that boss that likes to give off an element of I'm in charge, but has no respect from his employees because
Yeah,
they know he's a bit of an idiot.
yeah.
Um,
I've worked with
and
people like that.
yeah, as have I. And but he was like he was one of those characters that you think to yourself, well, maybe he wants to get up in the ranks of the empire eventually by
Yeah.
performing his duties here because he obviously
Well, he was told not to do it, wasn't he?
exactly and
So
he likes order. He
yeah,
wanted order and everything, and you could tell when he actually got to the point where they were going to arrest Andor in the third episode, and things went wrong, and he was witnessing people getting shot and blown up. He didn't know how to handle it, and he had a
yeah,
touch of PTSD perhaps,
yeah.
and which leads me on to the second great character was the sergeant major type
The
character.
Scottish
Yeah,
bloke, the heavy set guy.
yeah. Now I'm
Yeah,
sure I've seen him before somewhere. I haven't checked on IMDb, but I will check that because he
yeah,
looks so familiar to me. I just can't
yeah.
work it out. But yeah, I mean, he was brilliant. He was absolutely
Mm.
excellent. He was just your typical sergeant major character who sucked up to the big wigs, even though he
Yeah,
in the bottom of his heart he knows he's probably
it's a
better than
moron.
they
Yeah,
are.
yeah.
Um, yeah, I really thought he was great, and there were two great characters, but then there were so many more great characters. There was
Mm.
the lady who ran the shop.
Bix, was it? I think her
Yeah,
name was Bix.
yes, possibly.
Mm.
She was excellent as
Mm.
well. Really
Yeah,
interesting character. We
yeah,
really want to know more, and I'm really glad that we're going to get flashbacks by the looks of things all the way through the series to explain how we got from him being 6 years old up until the
mm.
point when the series started. Then we're going to get from where the series started up to eventually when Rogue One starts. So we're going to
Yeah,
get these two great timelines that are going to fill in Andor's entire life, basically.
yeah. Pretty much. Yeah, yeah.
Um, yeah, yeah. I mean, you can tell how enthusiastic I am by hopefully by the way
Yeah,
I'm talking. I
yeah.
mean, I wanted to go to sleep about 10, 15 minutes ago, and now
But
I'm
now,
I'm
now
I'm
we're on.
awake.
Now he's in form. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah, surprisingly, we haven't seen any of like the politics side of things with Mon
No,
Mothma and whatnot. And I thought that would at least make an appearance in the first three
yeah,
episodes. Um, other than that, we've been introduced, like as you say, to so many characters.
yeah.
Have we met any of them before? Do you know? In
No,
anything else
with the
aside
exception of
from
Andor.
Rogue One? Yeah,
Yeah, no, with the exception of Andor, we haven't met any
yeah,
of
it's
these
all completely
characters before.
fresh. Yeah,
I
yeah,
mean,
because I thought Marva might have made an appearance, but maybe not.
who's
Uh,
that?
the woman that saved him at the end of the day, at the end of episode 3 in the flashback.
Oh, right, yes. She was in the original timeline as well. She was the one who she was his doctor's mother
Yeah,
who they
yes, yeah, yeah,
yeah
yeah,
yeah
yeah.
okay. Um So I must admit, I expected her to get shot by the security forces by the end of episode 3, but that didn't happen. But yeah, she was great in
Yeah,
this as well, wasn't she? She was
yeah.
really good. And as much as I want to hate the droids that Disney bring out, I
That
thought the
one,
droid was excellent as
yeah,
well.
that one was decent, and I liked how they showed with the timeline.
Yes.
They showed him nice and fresh back in the early days, and I think probably minus his stutter, and then
Yeah.
yeah, and then obviously he was a lot more trashed
Mm.
towards the end. Yeah,
Yeah, good spot that I hadn't noticed about the stutter. So yeah, that just goes to show he's been through some stuff in his
yeah,
lifetime.
yeah. But
Yeah,
will
good
we see
spot.
more of him? Are we likely to see more of him? Are we likely to see? Well, I suppose we will see more from
That
that planet.
timeline. Well, from that, it was flashbacks because I think
Oh, I was thinking more from the planet itself, because Andor is has now escaped with
mm,
Luthen.
mm.
I'll get to that in a bit. But we're assuming that we're going to see more of Bix and the people on that planet.
Yeah, I mean, possibly. I mean, I don't think there's a reason to go back to the planet now he's left, but
Mm.
I think we'll probably see them all during the flashback period. I mean, I may be wrong, but
Yeah, maybe.
I think, yeah, we're going to see because obviously that crash ship was a separatist ship. Looking at the logos that are on the pilots and or crew's arms, and they
Yeah.
did say in those flashbacks that the Republic ships were about 6 minutes away from getting to them, so they had to
Of course.
escape
Yeah.
quickly.
Yeah.
So in the trailers, we saw those clone troopers
Mm.
in that town. So I'm going to go out on a limb and say that those were flashbacks from when Andor
Yeah.
was a young child and
Mm.
who'd just been rescued from that, looking for the people that had stolen the whatever they stole
The
from the ship when they
parts.
were,
Yeah.
yeah. So
Definitely.
we definitely see that. I mean, yeah, we've got Luthen as well. I mean, I think because in the obviously in the trailers as well, we've seen him with long hair, so we're
Mm.
possibly going to get more flashbacks of
Oh,
what
that's
he
a
was
good
up
point,
to.
actually. Yeah. Yeah. I
Um,
hadn't noticed that. I haven't thought about
so
that.
we could actually this could actually be quite a flashback heavy show where we
Mm.
see different characters through different timelines.
Yeah.
Yeah, really interested.
Yeah.
Really love the characters. Yeah, I'm really. I just. I've when it finished, I was really really upset that I now got to go back to watching this weekly.
Yeah.
Ideally, and if it wasn't for this podcast, I would consider doing it. Is actually not watching them at all until
Leave.
they'd all come out and then watch them all in a
Yeah, but
row.
we all know what you're like. It's
Yeah,
just
no,
not
no, it's
going to
never.
happen, is it?
No, you know me too well.
Yeah.
Uh,
Um, so I thought, well, there was a lot of British actors in this series so far. Is it shot in Britain? A
yes,
lot of
the
them are, aren't they?
yeah the this one was shot in England. Obi-Wan and the Mandalorian is shot in the US because they used the
Mm,
volume. And wasn't it
of
refreshing not
course,
having
yeah,
the volume?
yeah.
As much as I think the technology is great,
Oh, it's fantastic, but
yeah.
yeah,
Um,
it's also nice to see them on built sets and
Yeah.
whatnot.
Yeah, this set was leaked about a year ago. They had a newspaper sent a drone up and they actually
Oh
showed this
wow,
set. I'll find the picture and we'll hopefully pop it in for anyone watching on YouTube
yeah,
right now so that you can see it if you haven't seen it. But yeah, it wasn't just a small set with a street or two. It was an entire town they built.
really,
Yeah,
wow,
it was absolutely ginormous.
yeah.
So yeah, that was great to see. And I think some of the behind the scenes things that have come out already, they were saying that when you went into rooms and you went into a kitchen and opened a drawer, there was cutlery in the drawer. You know, it was that level of
Mm,
immersiveness. So
yeah.
yeah, really nice to see. I thought the laser battle that we saw, the blaster fight we saw, I think we saw that,
We
didn't
saw,
we?
yeah, we
From
saw it in the Disney Plus day, wasn't
That's
it?
right. There was a bit more to it though. They've cut a bit
Yeah,
out of it,
yeah, they
but
had.
that,
They were clipping between the police
mm,
corps, if you like,
yeah,
as well, weren't they? And
yeah. Well, that
what
was a
we
really
didn't, I
cool.
don't think we saw them getting into position in the sneak peek.
No, no, that was really cool though, wasn't it? It was the town sort of doing the banging on whatever
Mm,
they could to warn everybody that there
yeah,
was.
yeah. I was going to say that. I was going to bring that up. It was like a very communal
Yeah,
town where everyone knew everyone, and I suppose more or less got along. But they all
yeah.
looked out for each other, didn't they?
That right, you're right,
Uh,
and I think that will probably be shown why that's the case
mm,
in the flashbacks, perhaps because they've been in trouble before.
yeah,
Um, but actually, going back to what you said earlier, that we probably will see these people again. I think you're right, actually, because of that action that happened right at the end, where they sent the fake speeder out and then destroyed it and
yeah,
killed some of the security forces. Of course, the Empire are going to find out about that, aren't they? And they're going to send people out to investigate what happened. So
yeah,
those people will probably be tried to be hunted down while Andor's doing whatever he's doing. So I think we probably will still see all of those. So yeah, good call.
yeah, yeah. Um, what else was I going to say? The ships. So Luthen's. Well, no, let's go back to the ship that he escaped from the planet in episode 1.
Hmm.
Looked similar to a Y-wing,
Yeah, it definitely had the
but it
Y
wasn't.
wing engines either side, but the
Yeah,
front was completely different. So it was kind of an amalgam of
yeah,
other
yeah.
ships. Yeah,
So parts that have been gathered up and put together, I suppose.
yeah,
But I was going to say Luthen's had sort of elements of the Millennium Falcon about it. I don't know if you thought the same.
yeah. I wouldn't be. They're called YT model ships, and the Ghost in Rebels that they use
Okay.
is actually a YT type ship.
Yeah.
And there's been several others in other Star Wars uh, comics, books, whatever.
Mm.
So it wouldn't surprise me if that does turn out to be a more modern version of it, because having seen some of the trailers, I've seen what it can do. Okay,
Oh dear. There we go.
here, there we go. Power cut.
Yeah.
Yeah, having seen some of the trailers, we're going to see what that ship can do, and
Yeah.
it certainly looks like more of a modern type YT ship. But yeah, you're right.
Yes.
It definitely had Millennium Falcon vibe, so it wouldn't
Yeah.
surprise me if it is based a little bit on those model of ships.
Yeah.
Um, but it was certainly more technological, wasn't it? You just whistled, and everything
Yes.
opened up,
Yeah.
and the engine started.
Yeah.
So that was really
It's
cool.
nice little touches that they put in that
Yeah,
it's sort of brought on a lot of new things.
yeah,
Um, I would say there were a lot more humans in this one, wasn't there?
yeah.
In the series in general, there wasn't. Obviously, there were a few aliens here and there.
Mm.
I would have liked to seen a few more.
Yeah, there wasn't many classic aliens
No, that's the other
from the
thing I was
original
going to say.
trilogy. There was a few from the sequel trilogy. I didn't see any really prequel trilogy aliens, although I'm not 100% sure. There was a couple that I need to look. I saw in the background that I was like, I've seen that before, so I'll
Mm,
look into those and perhaps report back. But
yeah,
yeah, no, you're right. But then you can't be aliens all the time. I suppose you would just have human settlements, wouldn't you?
yeah,
So
yeah, for
there,
sure.
there was that really funny moment where the guy who wanted his money back
Yeah,
walked over to Andor, and that ginormous alien came up and just
was it
stood behind him.
Vetch? I
That's
think it
it.
was
Yeah, yeah,
called.
yeah.
Yeah,
That was
yeah,
hilarious. That was absolutely brilliant. I love
yeah.
that.
I enjoyed that.
Yeah.
I wouldn't mind seeing more of that guy actually.
No, well, I mean,
Little bit
yeah.
of a slow alien, but he was, yeah, obviously
Again,
the
though,
must.
Andor seemed to have a history with him, didn't he?
Yeah,
So, fingers crossed, all these, they might be setting out all these little things for us to
yeah,
see in the future in the flashbacks. So,
yeah. So, what do we know about next week's episode, if anything at all?
I know absolutely nothing about
Oh,
next week's episode.
yeah.
But I mean, it could just be a continuation of them escaping the planet after they
Mm.
hit orbit. But then it could also be flashback heavy. It could be something about Stellan Skarsgård's character and not have
Mm.
Andor in it at all. So complete mystery. But I can't believe we've got to wait till Wednesday to watch it. Um,
I
yeah,
wonder how many times you're going to say that on the on the podcast.
sorry.
Next week it's going to be the same. I wonder. Just
Yeah,
have to wait till Wednesday. It's all good though. It's all good. Keeps us excited, doesn't it?
yeah. Well, it's absolutely something to look forward to, isn't it?
Exactly. Yeah.
We'd binge this in a couple of days, and then we'd have nothing to talk about.
Yeah. Well. Yeah.
That's not true.
Yeah. You've always got something to talk about when it comes to Star Wars, haven't you? Let's face it.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Um,
yeah,
yes, yeah, I can't argue. I did having a chat with my friend Justin, who watches the show, and we've been chatting to, and he puts comments in the, and
yes.
he spotted a couple of really interesting things. There was the children that were on the planet in the flashbacks. They were all children, so it looked like obviously all
Hmm.
the adults had been wiped out somehow. And he made the good point. It was very Lord of the Flies.
Yeah, yeah.
Which I don't know if you've seen Lord of the Flies or read it, but I thought that was really interesting. And that
Should I have
planet,
seen Lord of the Flies?
it's a good movie. Yeah, it's
Yeah,
good
yeah.
book.
I
From what I
haven't
haven't read
seen
the
it,
book,
but it's not like
but
Lord of the Rings style. Like,
no,
as in,
no,
I should have watched it by now, but I haven't.
no.
Well, it's not that sort of territory. Like,
No, it's kind of, it's not really fantasy, no. And then the Morlana One planet was very Blade Runner
mm,
esque. He
yeah,
points out, which
I
yeah, I
haven't seen
totally
that
agree
either.
with.
I have seen Blade Runner. I have seen
Okay,
Blade Runner,
okay,
but
right, okay. I'm gonna controversially. I don't think Blade Runner's that good. It's all right, but
I
it's not.
found it pretty boring, to be
Yeah,
honest.
I got, for once I think we'll agree.
Yeah,
It's good in places, but there's
yeah,
long parts where nothing happens or there's lots
yeah,
of music.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah. So
Apparently the sequel's better, but I haven't seen that yet.
I tried to start watching the sequel about
Mm.
2 months ago, but I turned it off after 10 minutes. I just
Oh, really?
couldn't do it.
Yeah,
And this is me,
yeah.
so I don't think you'll be able to get past the credits.
I'll just leave it. Yeah.
Uh,
Anyway, back to Star Wars.
yeah, sorry.
Do we have any? Do you have any Easter eggs? Then you said that they'll, as a
Oh,
series, they're not making
I,
many.
well, I'm sure there are some there. I mean, of course there will
Mm,
be, but
mm.
the only thing I spotted on my first viewing that could be considered a type of Easter egg was there was a teddy bear slash toy banther
I
that
saw that.
was in
Yeah,
Andor's room.
yeah,
And I've got to be honest, that was it. There
yeah.
wasn't anything. I mean, there wasn't even any astromech droids just in the background.
No,
And that's a staple of Star Wars normally. So
that's
right, we need
true. Yeah,
something in the background of this scene. So
yeah. Get some
I think
droids,
that's
but no.
yeah, exactly. And I think that's a really good, probably a good representation of how poor the people are of this town or
Mm,
this system,
yeah,
that they don't even have that sort of capability to
luxury.
have those,
Yeah,
yeah, luxury of an astromech droid.
yeah,
um there was that really funny moment where the miner had obviously tied the rope to the back of the shuttle.
yeah,
That
yeah,
was excellent.
yeah.
I mean, it had so many of these great moments, didn't it?
Mm, yeah, it
um, there
did.
there wasn't any elongated actiony moments, but there were some really
No,
good small moments that
yeah,
yeah, no,
yeah. It was.
yeah,
Yeah, I mean, we're going to keep watching it, aren't we? And
absolutely,
I'm
yeah.
sure, like as I say, I feel like the pace is just going to progressively get higher and higher, and more,
Mm,
more and more action as the series goes on. I mean,
mm,
I might be wrong, but that's just the way I see it.
mm.
Is
Well,
likely to be going.
yeah, no, and I think I said it previous, that I'm actually more excited for the Mon Mothma stuff
Mm,
in back on Coruscant, because it's my favorite planet, and
yeah,
seeing the Senate again and seeing how she's working behind the scenes to start
yeah,
the rebellion. That's
yeah,
the sort of stuff that I was really interested in. But having seen
yeah,
those first three episodes, I'm now on board, totally on board with
yeah, yeah,
that stuff as well. So
yeah.
yeah,
It is going to be a real sort of espionage thriller type thing, as you've alluded to so many times.
mm.
So yeah,
So
cool.
I think definitely 4 out of 5 stars for those through first three episodes in my ratings.
Okay,
Anyway, so
it's
yeah,
decent, decent.
yeah,
Yeah,
very decent.
I probably wouldn't. Yeah, I'd probably go similar sort of thing. Yeah, I know. I did have a little look on IMDb. I know it's early days. Episodes 1 and 2 got 7.7, and episode 3 got 8.8.
That's
So
good. Yeah,
yeah,
that's good.
and
I think
I'm inclined to agree with that. I think
yeah, I think I would definitely go along with that. Yeah,
yeah,
that's fair. It's
just
obviously
just
people haven't been on there and
yeah,
started downgrading it.
downgrading.
So
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah. So okay, that's Andor episodes 1 to 3 sorted. Any admin, any pickups this week that you want to talk about? Anything like that?
Oh, so many pickups
Yes,
again.
I saw you did tweet today saying you're running out of room now. It's getting silly.
Well, I tweeted the Star Wars room, didn't I, about a month and a half ago? And in the last, since that time, I think I've had 5 lots of pre-orders come in all at
Oh
the
wow,
same time.
yeah,
And
not just
having
single figures either.
no,
Just
and if you go on, people go on Twitter and Instagram, you'll see exactly what I mean. It's
yeah,
there is literally no more room, so I'm going to have to buy more shelves
yeah.
now, and I'm not putting it in storage. There's just nowhere.
Oh no,
What's
no,
why have it if you're not going to display
exactly. Yeah, it's what
it?
it's there for. Yeah,
But I've got so many new ones. I was thinking perhaps on a week where we haven't got much news or anything, we'll do like a 15 minutes and we can go through some new figures because it would just take me too long to go through them all right
fair
now.
enough. Yeah,
Yeah, or
yeah,
perhaps I can put the pictures of them on. Well, we'll see them eventually when I get to the
yeah,
numbered on the vintage collection that I put out
yeah,
every day. So
yeah. Speaking of that, uh, what I want to know is, are you putting them out in a particular order?
they're all numbered 1 to, I think we're up to 260 something at the moment.
Right, so you are putting them out in
They're all in
numerical
number
order.
order.
Mm,
Yeah. Yeah. We're
yeah.
still in vintage collection 1.0. So that's 2010 to 2013, I want to say.
Okay.
So yeah, we're still in the first wave that
Yeah.
they originally did, but we're coming towards the end now. And I think we're up to 96 at the moment.
Oh
So
wow. It's been
96
going a little
consecutive
while then.
days.
Yeah, that's
96
pretty good.
consecutive days. Yeah.
Yeah. Um, yeah. So if anyone does want to see that, the links are down in the description below, or the Twitter and Instagram handles are down in the description below. I think otherwise that's it for today's show. We will catch you next time.
Yeah, really looking forward to next week. Can't wait.
Yeah.
Any please put in the description, or sorry, in the comments, anything that we missed via e.g. Easter eggs, that sort of thing, because having only seen it once and having the busy week that we've both had, we haven't really had a chance to really analyze it. So I'd be really interested to see anything else.
Yeah. And of course, like and subscribe and rate and review for anyone listening. We will see you next week, I suppose.
Take care, everybody.
See you later.
Bye.